Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of High Energy Girl. And today we have Tim O'Brien, who is the founder of The Healthy Place, an e-commerce store for healthy products. He also has 4 brick and mortar stores in the Wyoming area. Tim is extremely passionate about health and wellness and is married to Becky, and together they have 3 children. I'm super excited to share Tim's story with you. He's a really great guy. So let's go and say hello to Tim. Hey everyone, welcome to High Energy Girl, a podcast helping women to age stronger because it is never too late to get fit, be strong, and feel sexy. I'm your host, Tracy Gluhite, health coach and personal trainer and founder of highenergygirl.com. Each week, we will either have a guest interview, which will provide you encouragement or an actionable tip to help you age stronger, or I will do a solo episode. Please also join our awesome Facebook group called High Energy Girls, and I'm looking forward to see you on the inside of that group and hope you enjoy today's show. Guess what, everyone? My book is out. It is a revised and updated edition of a book I wrote 5 years ago called No Frickin' Way, 21 Days to Ditch the Diet and Lose Weight the Keto Way by Loving Yourself to Health. When I first wrote the original book, I was not a believer in the low-carb movement, but after all the years of research I've done, I am sold out for life. In this book, you will learn about all the lies you have been fed, how to engage in loving self-care, how to eat nourishing foods that provide massive energy, why the ketogenic diet is not a fad, how to heal your body through fasting, why you should move your body to get stronger, and how to create an empowering mindset. Start reading now and finally achieve the high energy and positive body image you deserve. Check it out on Kindle, on Amazon. And if you like it, please leave us a review because this will help more people find it. I really want to inspire people to not deprive themselves, but to nourish themselves with loving self-care and amazingly healthy food so that they can age stronger. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed writing it. Hey, Tim, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. This is exciting.
I love chatting with like-minded individuals. So for the listeners that don't know you yet, will you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Yeah. My name is Tim, and I own a company called The Healthy Place, and we have a website called findyourhealthyplace.com. And my wife and I run it together, co-owners, and we love it. We've been doing it about 10 years. And Madison, Wisconsin, 4 brick and mortar stores, so health food stores. And we get to educate people every day, help them find their healthy place. The setup is, people get medicated, and every single pharmaceutical drug treats a symptom and then damages the body in one way or another. So if you can find a natural alternative that treats a symptom and strengthens the body, we're really, really into that. And also just maximizing people's quality of life. Like, can we get more energy? Can we get more mental clarity and focus? How can we strengthen our memory and our digestive system and our immune system and so on? So that's what we get to do with our team every single day.
That's awesome. How big is Madison, Wisconsin?
That's a good question. I want to say it's like around 300,000 people.
Okay, so that's good sized. I was just thinking, do you guys have other brick and mortar nutrition places? Or are you guys pretty much it in your area?
Yeah. There's a couple great, other health food stores, and we're cooler, and that's okay.
Of course you are. Of course, because you probably aren't like that typical corporate, huge structure that cares more about, the bottom line than they do about the people.
Amen. We got a saying in our stores, souls before sales. And that's the goal. It's like care for the human, take care of the human, educate the human, and business takes care of itself. And I used to work for GNC, and that was, big corporate kind of situation. And it's cool. Even when we started The Healthy Place in 2010, it was like, how can we care for people? Because that's what it's about.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. And the thing is that I love that souls before sales. Like, that's what I feel like when I do all these 5-day challenges all the time, and I give. And, sometimes I end up profiting and sometimes I don't, but I feel like, it just is
Like any
going to
good business
fall.
owner, right? Yeah,
Just going to be what it is. So all
that's
that's
awesome.
cool. So what inspired
Thank
you to
you.
start the store?
Yeah, so my mom fought through cancer when I was like 4 or 5 years old, and she went through the chemo, radiation. I just remember as a little guy going, "Oh my gosh, mommy's sick," and watching her go through that was pretty intense. And much of her recovery was actually through natural alternatives, and that's what got her into the world of natural alternatives. And she's doing great today, thankfully.
Oh,
And
good.
that's after that process, she got a job at a health food store as a manager. And us kids were homeschooled growing up. So we were often in the back room of this health food store doing our homework, watching these stories sort of unfold of, Susie Q coming in with chronic pain and getting away from the Vicodin with my mom's help and finding natural alternatives to do so. And just watching these sort of testimonies unfold through my early years and teen years is sort of like embedded in me a passion for natural alternatives. Not that they're the only option. I'm thankful for some of our pharmaceutical drugs. Sometimes they save lives. Antibiotics sometimes save lives. I'm thankful for our medical doctors and our pharmacists and all of that. We're just a natural alternative. And so I started hearing about it. I'm watching this in my teen years of like how big pharma controls so much, and how, somebody that battles a chronic disease or a condition will walk into a doctor's office, get heavily medicated often, and medication can lead towards more medication. And so that started a passion in me, like, man, maybe I want to go get a job at a health food store. So I did when I was 18 years old, and I found out pretty quick I like encouraging people. I like helping people. I like educating on natural alternatives. And that led to me moving to Madison, Wisconsin to be a district manager over some GNC stores. And there was a corporate takeover because it was franchises that I was working for, and everybody lost their jobs. And I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? And we, prayed about it. Becky and I were like, let's start our own health food store. And so we did that in 2010.
Awesome. I love your name too. It's super cute.
Thank you. That's
A
all,
healthy
Becky.
place.
Yeah.
That's
Thank you.
awesome. So that's interesting. So your mom had cancer, I'm guessing 20 plus years ago.
Yeah, I'm 36. So what would that be? Like 21, 22 years ago.
Okay. So, and she did something healthy alternatives. Like, have you ever seen that documentary series, The Quest for the Cure, Truth About Cancer with Ty and Charlene Bollinger?
I have not seen that one, but I have heard of it. And that's exactly the type of information that inspired me early on. Like, holy crap, people don't know about this stuff.
Exactly. And also, like, they have at least two other series. One is The Truth About Vaccines, and another is The
Oh,
Truth
that's another
About
good one.
Pet Cancer. And like my dogs, I thought they were on a healthy diet, but clearly they weren't. And so I had to even change their diet because I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want my dogs to. One of my old dogs died of cancer, and I'm like, I don't want these guys to. So,
Right,
but all
right.
the big brother, the pharmaceutical mafia puts the kibosh on all that type of information. I
I
mean,
know.
from what
Yeah.
I've heard is that it's illegal in the States to say that you can cure cancer with any means other than surgery, chemo, and radiation, right?
Yeah. In fact, every supplement bottle has to say right on it, the FDA does not, regulate this, and it is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or, treat any sort of disease at all. And Big Pharma pays a lot of money actually to get new diseases created, like obesity is now a disease. So where that's moving towards is I can't even say I can help somebody lose weight because it's a disease. So it gets all the control in pharmaceutical drugs. And so it's pretty crazy if you follow the money. Yeah, it's intense.
Oh my gosh. I
Isn't that mind
remember.
blowing?
Yeah, I remember when obesity became a disease. It was
Yeah.
maybe 10 years ago, I'm guessing. And
Hmm.
I didn't realize that that was the purpose of it, was so that you couldn't say that you could help
Yep.
people with that.
Isn't
Whoa.
that wild? Or
Oh,
even
there's,
cholesterol. If they can get that to become a disease, high cholesterol, then I can't tell somebody, yes, I can help you lower your cholesterol naturally. And then all of a sudden that person has to go to their doctor to get a prescription, even though the statins are like horrific for your body and can likely lead to cardiovascular disease, which is the idea of what they're supposed to prevent. It's mind boggling when you start getting into it. And it's certainly inspiring. At the end of the day, I try not to get like frustrated with the system, although it is very frustrating. I try to link arms with my, community in Madison here and be like, okay, we have awesome doctors, we have awesome pharmacists, and we're going to be these natural alternative educators that are going to come alongside of them, because a lot of them are going, wait, there's natural ways to lower cholesterol. And they're starting to send us people in Madison. And that's kind of the approach I'm hoping for, is that like grass fire kind of approach. Like they start to realize more and more that you can lower your cholesterol natural. You don't need stinking statins.
yeah, but here's the thing. Cholesterol is not the enemy. Inflammation is, you know?
Amen.
I mean, they have demonized cholesterol, but really, truly, the people who live to be the centurions, the 100-year-olds, they have higher cholesterol. I mean, they didn't used
Thank you.
to, oh, it pisses me off. I can't
That,
even tell you.
well, you actually just went to the next level, because they keep lowering the number that's a safe number for your cholesterol to be at. So it was like
Yeah.
at like 200 20 years ago, and then it's 190, then it's 180, then it's 170, then it's 160 before you know it. And every time they lower it, another 5 million people need to go on statins.
Ooh, they've lowered it that low. It used to be
Yeah.
300.
Was it really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That I had somebody come to me say that mine's at 140 and my doctor's saying I should consider statins.
That is insane.
And you
Cholesterol's,
actually need cholesterol. You need
yeah.
cholesterol.
Yeah. And if you don't eat enough cholesterol, your liver's going to produce it for you. Have you ever seen Dave Feldman's website, The Cholesterol Code?
No, no. Sounds like something I'd be interested in though.
Well, he tracked his blood, his serum cholesterol every day. And basically, 2 days later, he would see like the correlation between his diet. So say Monday, he ate high cholesterol, checking it 48 hours later, it would be lower. And when he'd eat low cholesterol, it would be higher, because your body needs it. Your liver's going to make it if you don't
That's
ingest it.
fascinating.
Right?
Wow, I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. And cholesterol is also a precursor hormone, right? So from cholesterol comes pregnenolone, and out of
Mm,
pregnenolone comes all your sex hormones, which are your youthful hormones, right?
mm-hmm.
So why would we want to lower it? No.
That's crazy. And you just start to like see some of these truths, right? You mentioned inflammation. Inflammation is the root of every single degenerative disease, which means if we can reduce inflammation, AKA eat an anti-inflammatory diet, AKA take some supplements that lower the inflammation in your body, there is very good science and reason to believe that you can minimize, or in cases prevent, degenerative disease.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way they've painted it is there's nothing you can do. It's all your genetics. You can't control it. If you get it, Alzheimer's, if you get cancer, if you get diabetes, you can't control it. And it's just your genetics. And epigenetics is the amazing reality that most disease is controlled by epigenetics, which is that which is controlled by nutrition, by
Mm-hmm.
your diet, by supplements, by what you do, which is
Your
pretty
lifestyle.
huge
Yeah.
paradigm shift there.
It's funny because just earlier, a couple hours ago, I interviewed this guy, David Krantz, who he specializes in epigenetics, and he has a way to do
Oh,
a
that's a cool
swab.
interview.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to catch it. He'll be just like one right before yours, but they do a swab where they go and they see all your genes, and then they tell you how to best like thrive, so that based on like a supplement regime, you guys really need to connect, because you can probably support each other
Sounds
with,
like it.
yeah, he's a great guy too. So today we talked about the endocannabinoid system. But
Beautiful.
here's
Yeah.
what I would like to talk about. You opened a door about inflammation. So you guys sell supplements. Do you sell other things too, or just mostly supplements?
Supplements, we have some foods, but it's supplement. I mean, our expertise and our wellness consultants, it's all about supplements.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So I'm going to just run through some things, and then maybe you can say what you would recommend to one of your customers if they
Sure.
had that. So inflammation, what would you tell somebody if they wanted to reduce inflammation naturally?
Yeah, I mean, and for if you're listening right now, you have chronic pain, you have a degenerative disease, you're worried about a degenerative disease. Inflammation is the root of chronic pain. It's the root of nearly all disease. Nearly all digestive struggles is inflammation in the gut. Crohn's, diverticulitis, colitis, inflammation. Reducing inflammation through supplements, top two that I bring up every single time is BCM95 curcumin, and I'll explain that one, and CBD. You mentioned the endocannabinoid system. BCM95 curcumin is a form of curcumin that comes from the Indian spice turmeric that colors curry. There's an active compound in turmeric called curcumin. And Dr. Ajay Agul out of Baylor University in Texas early in his career, he was all into like finding cures and for diseases. And he spent years and years and years. And then he realized this whole thing about epigenetics. And he decided to give the rest of his life to prevention of disease. So that's what he has given his life to these last maybe 30 years. And he found a form of curcumin called BCM95 curcumin that absorbs really, really, really well. And this lowers inflammation very quickly. Like if somebody's battling chronic pain, in 45 minutes, people feel a difference. So what would happen if someone's popping ibuprofen every day, which is hard on your stomach, hard on your liver, hard on your kidneys, stomach bleeding, intestinal bleeding, like, okay. If we can take BCM95 curcumin, it works that fast for chronic pain. This means people can get off the drugs, which are damaging your body, and onto a natural alternative. So it's a pretty cool breakthrough out of Baylor University. Arthritis, all of that.
Do you guys
Number
sell
two,
it?
yeah, yep. Yeah, there's a number of good brands out there that sell this form of curcumin called BCM95. And on our website, if you go to findyourhealthyplace.com, type in Cura Health. So Cura Health. Or else another good brand that makes it is, it's called Cura Med. And that's by Terry Naturally. So there are multiple brands, and we have like a live chat feature on our website. If you have questions of like, what the heck was Tim talking about in the podcast for inflammation? Or you can go in that little live chat bubble and ask questions like, what do I take for pain? And we'll remind you of what I'm saying right now.
Can you give that to a dog?
Yeah. In fact, we actually have a product. I forget the name of it, but it's by the brand Terry Naturally. And it's for dogs. It's like a little chewable that dogs like. And we even sell one. There's one for horses because that's another big deal, like arthritis.
Yeah.
And it's great. Whether you're talking about chronic pain or digestive issues, a dog's a mammal too. And reducing inflammation is a good idea for our furry companions.
I need to get some of that. Okay. Yeah. I have 2 dogs that are older, and right now they're on medications, but I am so not into it. But I also give them so many supplements, but I still see how they limp around when they don't have their medication. But if that you can see in 45 minutes,
It's so common.
awesome.
It's so common to see it that fast. There's 2 groups. First group is like they see it immediately. Second group takes a few weeks to get in the system. Regardless what group they are, inflammation is the enemy. And if this lowers inflammation, it's going to help.
Okay.
So it's
Cool.
pretty neat.
And then talk about the CBD, and then we're going to go back to clarify a term you used. So,
Oh, sure. Yeah. So endocannabinoid, big word, took me a long time to learn how to say it. Endocannabinoid system strengthens every other system in your body. It shoots out cannabinoids, kind of like a key to locks throughout the body. And once that cannabinoid, that key makes it to these different locks, it unlocks benefits. So brain health unlocks the benefits there, digestive health, reduction of inflammation, so pain relief. And CBD is the number one nutrient. It's not the only nutrient. There's actually other nutrients too, like forms of echinacea that strengthen the endocannabinoid system. The number one most powerful, and why it's gotten so much publicity, is CBD. CBD, powerhouse for chronic pain and inflammation. If somebody is battling arthritis or fibromyalgia or neuropathy, it's all inflammation related. And CBD, make sure it's a good quality one. You know, everybody and their mom is selling CBD right now. I heard of a guy that was making it in his garage. I was like, OMG. It's,
Wow.
you know, it's blown up in the supplement industry and it is really successful. So in the last 10 years, our number one testimonies that we get, that's like our most popular, kind of what we're known for, is reducing people's chronic pain. And number two is stress. And so whether it's pain or stress, CBD is really powerful.
Oh, what brand do you like for CBD?
My favorite is Wild Theory. So WILD Theory. And just terpene profile and sourcing, it's all organic. There's a number of really good brands out there though. So what I always tell people is like sourcing, make sure it's clean sourcing, make sure it's terpene rich, because the terpenes in some studies are even more powerful than the CBD itself. And terpenes are like the essential oils from the hemp, from botanicals of different kinds. Price point is kind of big because the price has come down quite a bit. So a lot of people are overpaying for it, or they're like paying so little from a gas station that it's like crap, right?
A gas station. Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. I am so curious about all that stuff with the endocannabinoids. That's why I let David come back on the show, because, you know, here in California, all that stuff is legal, but I'm kind
Right.
of like not into it just because of a bad experience I had, 40 years ago.
Oh, I used to smoke pot too. You know, I don't anymore. In my teen years, I quit, but I hated it because it controlled my
Yeah.
life. You know, I remember trying to quit for years, and I just had this like love for Mary Jane, you know, and so I just kept smoking, and it made me more lazy and upset with myself and not as motivated. So when I first heard about hemp and CBD coming to Wisconsin, I was like, no. And then some of the, you know, smarter people in my life started just that say, hey, Tim, you care about helping people, right? So yes, so this helps people. It has all the benefits of medicinal marijuana without the high. So you don't have to worry about that whole high conversation. You're not against hemp, are you? You're not against like hemp rope and hemp clothes. Like this is CBD from hemp. And I was like, okay, fine. And then now I love it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, no, I am playing around with it a little bit, but I don't like the high thing. It's just not
Yeah,
my, give
me
me a
neither.
glass of wine, I'm cool, but
Yeah.
nothing I don't know what it's like, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
okay, so you said a word that maybe people don't know, and that's degenerative disease. Will you explain what that means?
Yeah, so degenerative disease, it was like virtually non-existent in the early 1900s. So we're talking about like Alzheimer's, we're talking about cancer, diseases where the body breaks down. And the way our system has been set up to educate on that is there's nothing you can do to treat or cure degenerative diseases. And while I can't say it in literature and I can't say it in emails and that, there are more and more good reason and good science to believe that we can naturally treat and even cure degenerative diseases through diet and through supplements. And that is a really important point that I'd want, if you're listening, you know, to know about that. Because at this point, it's like 1 in 3 that are said to get cancer in their lifetime right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the numbers on all levels of degenerative disease are going up every year. You know, in the 1970s, the president at the time said, we're going to win the war against cancer. And the progress, we're literally using the exact same chemotherapy as in the 1970s. Like we are not making, yet billions of dollars are given to the, you know, fight for a cure, and all that money
They're
is
pocketing
going
it.
to pharmaceutical drugs and not towards education in the diet and the epigenetics and the supplements that can actually treat or cure these diseases. It's pretty wild.
So heart disease is a DG, right?
Yeah.
Degenerative disease. That's like a mouthful for me.
Say it 10
Heart
times fast.
disease, diabetes, right? Aren't those all degenerative diseases?
Yep.
Okay. So what about
Yeah, Crohn's
thyroid?
disease. Yep. What's that?
Thyroid.
Thyroid controls your energy, your metabolism, your hair, skin, and nail benefits, your immune system. And both my sister and mom had hypothyroidism when I was growing up, and they would eat less than everybody else, but they'd keep the weight on. And their thyroids, they had a sluggish thyroid. And so that's a common topic, is strengthening your thyroid. And it's incredible if you just feed your body the right nutrients, what can happen. So that's kind of a side point. When it comes to supplements and thyroid, the most important mineral on the planet for thyroid is iodine and selenium. And the most important amino acid on the planet for thyroid is L-tyrosine. So those nutrients right there, if you battle metabolic issues, metabolic syndrome, hair, skin, nail issues, immune struggles, you want to build your immune system, you want more energy, thyroid care is one of the most powerful things you can do. And in the supplement space, people feel a benefit day one. So if you want to take a peek at an example of that, Thyroid TLC is the name of one of our products that we sell, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these units, because people, they all those areas I listed, they're like, well, that's me. And it's because we're all deficient, just like vitamin D. Most of us are deficient in vitamin D. The next vitamin D is iodine. Almost most people are deficient in iodine, which leads to all these struggles, all these issues. Yeah, thyroid's a big deal. That whole glandular system, any topic around energy, adrenal glands, thyroid. You strengthen those two puppies, you're going to feel more energy day one. Adrenal fatigue, chronic adrenal fatigue, it's a big deal.
Okay, so you talked about the subs for thyroid. What about the supplements for adrenals?
Yeah, so adaptogenic herbs are the most important when it comes to the conversation of strengthening the adrenal glands. When you strengthen the adrenal glands with adaptogens are herbs that help your body adapt to stress. Adaptogens adapt to stress.
Ashwagandha?
Yep. Ashwagandha, rhodiola, maca, ginseng, shazandra root. And if you get a formula, there's a lot of good formulas out there. Mega Food makes a good one. Lively Vitamin Company is my favorite. Terry Naturally makes a good one. Number of brands make good quality adaptogenic formulas that strengthen your adrenal glands. 92% of fatigue is directly related to your adrenals. Strengthen the adrenals, you'll see and feel more energy. And your adrenals control immune system too. So building the immune system, mental clarity and focus, who's dealt with brain fog, me, you want to strengthen mental clarity and focus, strengthen your adrenals. Deeper, better sleep, strengthen the adrenals.
Interesting.
I know, it's exciting, isn't it?
I need to try a formula, because I have to tell you, I don't love popping pills. That's why a formula is attractive to me, because then I don't have to take one. I can just, how many pills do you take a day, Tim?
I was worried you were going to ask that question. So I have an AM box and I have a PM box, and I am upwards of 27 capsules per day.
Okay, that's not that bad. My husband probably does that too. He doesn't care.
Nice. My mentor and hero, Terry Lamarond, he's the guy that brought glucosamine to America, and he owns that Terry Naturally company I keep bringing up. I go up and meet with him in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and he mentors me. I asked, hey, I want to build great brands like you have, and he's built a couple mammoth supplement brands. And he takes 150 pills a day. I'm like, bro. And he's 84 years old. I'm not kidding. He is running his successful company up in Green Bay still. He's the president, CEO, whatever. And he is sharp as a tack. He's smarter than me and running hard. So I'm like, all right, man, I'm not going to argue with you.
Wow. Okay. So for the show notes, send me over your supplement stack so I can put it in there so people can see. Okay. So we talked about thyroid. That's one I get a lot. We talked about the adrenals. What other common things do people come into your store to ask you about?
Yeah. right now with all the COVID stuff going on, it's like immune system. You know, when it first hit, we had mobs of people like, we're all gonna die. Help me with my immune system. I was like, calm down. You strong immune system. We're good. Let's just talk about that. And immune system's a big one. So I love elderberry. We have a product called Elderberry Boom. If anyone's taking notes, Elderberry Boom, that has a strong kick of elderberry in there. The active compound in that fruit is called sambucus. And there is really compelling data. University of Sydney is one of my favorite clinicals on elderberry. And the clinical showed that it actually lessened the ability for viruses to enter into the body and lessened the duration and in severity of viruses. Mm-hmm. So that was really big to know about in face of COVID as a virus. And Kaleidos Silver is another big one. You know, you get one like Sovereign Silver is one of my favorite brands, 10 parts per million. Powerful, nature's natural antibiotic. Strengthens the immune system. And then number 3, I always highlight for immune system is probiotics. Your good and bad bacteria are always in a race. Whichever one's winning decides the state and the health of your immune system. 80% of your immune system is controlled in the gut. Enzyme production, vitamin production, all controlled by your gut flora. So actually, to highlight a couple of the most important supplements you can put in your body, I always tell people, you know, probiotic, anti-inflammatory, because inflammation is the root of all this stuff. So get that product called Kira Health or some sort of good anti-inflammatory, and then a good multivitamin, because we're all nutritionally deficient in one way or another. Food's not what it used to be. You know, now I read an article, 1950s, a bowl of salad had twice the nutrients that it has right now. Twice, double. Brown rice since it might even be worse. Brown rice went down in calcium content by 40% since the 1960s. Broccoli, 1975 to 1995, went 25% down in vitamin C. And it's how we're growing it, and it's what we're putting on it, and how we're transporting it, and all of it. Mm-hmm. But it's pretty fascinating. It's a good reason to take a good quality multi.
Yeah. You know, it's like, I think a lot of it has to do with they don't even let it ripen on the plant long enough. Yeah. They pick it before it's even ready, so it hasn't had a chance to develop. They don't rotate the crops. They put only 3 minerals in the soil to, you know, and there's how many 52 minerals
needed or whatever, you know?
Yeah, it's just, that's the problem. So a lot of our food is devoid of nutrients. So yeah, I definitely believe that we need to supplement. So that's cool. So what other projects do you guys work on? Do you guys do like different education series? Oh, wait, I had another question. Sorry. Sure. My brain goes too fast. Okay, so what about weight loss? So a lot of our listeners are women over 50. They just want to lose weight, maybe balance hormones, things like that. What wisdom do you have to offer there?
Yeah, boy, I mean, balance, it's amazing actually, the hormone thing, if you can balance hormones. So I bring up 3 supplements. And number 1 would be that thyroid TLC I was talking about. You strengthen the thyroid, you will lose weight. My mom still says to this day that iodine, tyrosine are responsible. She was so thankful when she found that. She would point, and she was already working out and eating well and all of that. She lost 70 pounds and she pointed towards that. So I'm hesitant to like tell that story because I don't want people to think you can pop a pill and then eat whatever you want and not exercise. Like, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
What I'm getting at is thyroid TLC. You strengthen the thyroid, it will fire up your metabolism. Number 2, we have a product called Metabo Go-Go that has Garcinia cambogia, which has an active compound called hydroxycitric acid. Some very cool clinical data on 1,500 milligrams a day, strengthening your metabolism. Has raspberry ketones in it, which stimulates your body's natural fat lipolysis, which is your body's natural fat burning effect. And it has nutrients for balancing sugar levels to help sugar carb cravings. So that's been helpful to people. And it's not a thermogenic, doesn't have caffeine. It's not like Hydroxycut, Trim Spa, Xantrax, Fen-Phen. You know, I'm not a big fan of what are called thermogenics like those. So number 1, thyroid health. Thyroid TLC is a great product. Something to boost metabolism like Metabo Go-Go is a good product. And then number 3, like you mentioned, is balancing those hormones. There's an herb called Thai kudzu. So it's like THAI kudzu. And that balances hormones, estrogen levels. So what I love about it is it's a normalizer. It doesn't spike it, like a progesterone cream would. It doesn't drag it down like some sort of anti-estrogenic formula. It balances it. So if you're too high, it brings it down. If you're too low, it brings it up. So whether it's another reason you want to balance the hormones for like deeper, better sleep or night sweats or whatever, or metabolism, it's a really good option. So that there's a product, we sell a bunch of different Thai kudzus, but one is by a brand named Solgar, Solgar, called PM Phytogen. And those three products together have been successful from a natural supplement standpoint and weight loss.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I have a client that has thyroid stuff, so I'm going to have to hook her up
Oh,
with
sweet.
some of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and people can email, Tim@findyourhealthyplace.com if that's helpful. It doesn't mean you got to buy anything, but you're just like wondering from the owner, and you're not talking to a salesperson or whatever, like what's good for this, what's good for that. I'll just send you links, ideas, and then we have that live chat option on our website, findyourhealthyplace.com. You can click the live chat and talk to a consultant. Again, you don't got to buy anything. It's just like a way where you don't have to like feel pressure by calling us or stopping in one of our stores. Most people are obviously not in Madison. But,
and did you guys have to shut down with the whole COVID lockdown stuff?
Oh, I was so happy that we got to stay open. So I was like collecting all the data in the beginning, like, okay, how can we be essential? We are essential, dang it, trying to stay open. So we did not have to shut down. It was a major like decrease in foot traffic, 30-40%, less people coming in, and then more people on our website. So that's part of why we've worked so hard to build a good way to communicate, because our difference maker is our knowledge. So it's like, how can we make it easy for people to connect with knowledge and supplements? And through our website, it's been a great way for that, especially that live chat feature.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. So I have another question for you. We were talking about heart disease earlier. Are you familiar with the heart health benefit of vitamin K2?
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, so I own a company called Lively Vitamin Company, and that's our own like supplement line. We sell it to other health food stores. And of course we sell it at our health food stores. I even named some of the products today. So in our vitamin D supplement, it actually has K2 in it as well, because it's so incredible for heart. And just when people supplement with vitamin D, people don't realize like how the body works sometimes. If you supplement with a larger dose of vitamin D, it actually sucks your vitamin K down to accommodate that, to absorb it, to assimilate it. So if you just take a D, your K levels can actually go down. Mm-hmm. So a good quality vitamin D supplement will have both D3 and K2. And the main reason is because of how D levels affect K levels. But another primary reason is heart health.
Yeah. Nobody talks about that though, right?
Nobody. Yeah. Oh man, don't get me started. You're getting me all excited.
Hey, I want this message to get out there. So here's what my understanding is that calcium deposits, which people can get a CAC scan to show calcium deposits, it's non-invasive, it's like a CT type thing, but it will show the calcium deposits, and then the K2 will go and shuttle the calcium out of your arteries and into your bones. Is that about right?
That's actually a really good way of explaining it. And isn't it mind-blowing that people don't know that when they're battling with issues with their arteries? Like, isn't that mind-blowing?
Totally.
That should be in every single consultation with a doctor. Every single time that should be brought up, And even with COVID, zinc, vitamin D, elderberry. Like, there's such a volume of science and reason to believe that this can help somebody. I mean, especially those that are, older or the elderly. Mm-hmm. And maybe instead of spending billions of dollars in lost, shutting everything down, we pay to have everybody have that.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even mean to go there. It's just like, let's get the truth out is all I'm wanting to do.
Well, and there's other countries that have done that,
Yeah.
They've given their people zinc and vitamin D, and, the things that will boost your immune system so you can fight off all disease,
Mm-hmm.
all of the bad bugs, including cancer,
Yeah.
right? Cancer is
Right.
caused by a weakened immune system, because if your immune system's strong, it's going to fight the cancer cells.
Yes. Feed your body the right nutrients, and it's incredible what it can do.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And I'm going to throw this out there, that the masking and the um, hand sanitation with that stuff, I don't even remember what it's called, antibacterial, isn't good. We need those good bugs, and you're killing all the good, all the bad, and you're getting too clean so that you're going to suppress your immune system instead of building it up, right?
Yep. Yep. Even putting antibacterial soap. It's like your antibiotics. Anti means against, biotic means life. So you take an antibiotic, or whether you spray an antibiotic, it's like a nuclear bomb that kills all life. And life, healthy bacteria, probiotics for life. You kill all your healthy bacteria, your body loses all of its defenses to fight off viruses, to create enzymes that break foods down so you can actually absorb nutrients out of your food. That takes enzymes, takes enzyme production, takes healthy bacteria. You don't want to kill those guys. It's pretty crazy, because that's a new thing, in the last 50. Antibacterial everything. Let's wipe down everything. Let's kill all life. People don't get it. They don't quite understand antibiotics against life.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's that. And plus you get resistant. Like, that's why you don't want to take antibiotics unless you absolutely need them. I remember a long time ago, we had this
Right.
old family doctor, and he said, well, I could give you antibiotics. It would clear it up in a few days, or you could just let it run its course and we'll clear it up in a few days, you know? So when you're
Mm-hmm.
like, when my kids had a fever, I didn't rush them to the doctor or give them medication. It's like, let the fever burn the bug out of your body.
Yeah, that's like why God made us to have a fever. Is it's literally what's responsible for killing the virus. So the
Yeah.
higher fever, and there's a point, there's a point where it's dangerous. And also most of the time, it's like, let that fever do what it's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's uncomfortable, but it just has to do what it has to do. Like you said, God made our immune systems to work a certain way. And
Right.
unfortunately, many of our lifestyles have, made that immune system weaker, like the sitting and the being indoors all the time and being too clean and not exercising and moving and, eating all that commercial crap and all
Yeah.
the stuff they spray in our environment. It's
Oh my
like,
gosh. I know. Well, it's like most of the chemicals, it's actually most of the chemicals we use in the United States. I forget the number, I read it. It was like 42,000 chemicals. Like most of those chemicals are illegal over in Europe. They're just
mm-hmm.
like totally illegal. Genetically modified foods, illegal in Europe.
Yeah.
Why? Because they are not good for your body.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Even our meat and our dairy, because of all the hormones that they put in it.
Just
And
pumped in there.
these young girls are getting their periods and their breasts way too early because of all those
Crazy.
hormones. Mhm.
Yeah, it keeps getting younger. It's wild.
Yeah. That's why people just need to, like you said, vote with their dollar and not buy that crappy food,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, every
because
single dollar we spend, wherever it is, that's our actual vote. And that's actually what we believe. So whether it's supporting a certain corporation versus a small business, or whatever the example is, your dollar is voting for the
yeah.
food, because we're telling, the world of McDonald's and fast food, like, hey, we want this stuff. We're going to keep giving you our money, and they're giving us what we want. I mean, I'm building a business myself. I want to provide things that people will buy. And so it's important to think about that.
Yeah. We're overfed and undernourished.
Yeah, that's a really good way to sum that up.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, Tim, it's been a pleasure. I just want to thank you so much
This
for
is
coming on
fun.
the show. I'm super excited. I need to go on your website and order a bunch of stuff to try it all out.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
fantastic.
I love to remind people, life is a gift, and life is worth fighting for yourself, for your loved ones. Get somebody on your team that understands natural alternatives, because if you're not dealing with something right now, like a health condition or a struggle, whether it's fatigue or stress or something more intense like degenerative disease. If not now, you will eventually, and or you know somebody that is, and we need to get educated on natural supplements or natural alternatives rather. So whether it's me that's on your team that you ask questions to or somebody else, get somebody on your team, get education, take health into your own hands so that you can live life and live it to the fullest. Mm-hmm. And that's my encouragement to you.
Awesome. Totally agree. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the information that Tim shared. Please make sure that you go and check out his website. You can find all his links on social and his website at highenergygirl.com/show. And I will also put on his supplement protocol recommendations that he actually takes himself. Okay, everyone, go out and make it a great day. This podcast contains the opinion and thoughts of its host and guests. It is intended to provide helpful and informative material on the subjects covered. All statements made on the podcast have not been evaluated by the FDA and are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. If the listener requires professional assistance or advice, please contact your personal medical doctor. Both host and guest specifically disclaim any responsibility for any liability, loss, or risk, personal or otherwise, which is incurred as a consequence directly or indirectly of the use and application of any of the contents of these episodes. Like I said, this is my opinion and I could be wrong.